Hey there, everyone. Safety, safety, safety seems to be the number one topic on everyone's mind. My name is Ashley Boder. I'm a real estate agent with Proper Estates in the Bergen County, New Jersey area, and people seem to want answers to the unknown before sort of diving into a transaction right now, and I don't blame them. So I decided it would be a good idea to get Terry Darling on a quick Zoom chat with us today and just go over how he and his clients have been staying safe through his fields, which is inspections and appraisals. So sit tight, we're going to dive right in. Hey there, Terry, how are you doing?
Hey, Ashley, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks for asking. So I had the pleasure of working with Terry, first as an appraiser, and later on as an inspector. And throughout the entire process, he was a great communicator, super knowledgeable in his field, and overall held through his professionalism throughout the entire time. So he's a great person to take a listen to. And Terry, if you're ready, we're just gonna dive on into some questions.
Absolutely, sure.
Okay, great. So I guess what is on everyone's mind first and foremost is what have you been doing in your field through COVID-19, and how is it different than what you would have done before?
Yeah, absolutely. It's on everybody's mind these days because it's the responsibility of all of us to keep one another safe, keep our customers safe, and also keep public health in mind as we continue to move forward with business. So it's important that sellers are confident that they have someone who can lead them through the process as they decide to list their home, and then buyers have someone they can trust to lead them through as they try to navigate the new world of virtual showings or limited showings and things like that. So we've implemented several safety protocols since COVID-19 and the lockdown has happened to try to improve public trust in the profession of home inspection and appraisal, so that home occupants know that we're doing things to make sure that we're as safe as possible when we have to enter their home. So some of those things are, well, first of all, we're washing our hands like everybody else these days, right? We wash our hands multiple times. And I'm also monitoring my health in a way that I hadn't done before. Back in March, I started taking my temperature multiple times a day just to make sure, it was steady. And, so far have no symptoms and I'm totally healthy, which is great. But I think you need to be willing to talk about that with people and also, ask other people those same questions because, Ashley, you're in different homes all the time. So am I. If you were to pick something up in one home and take it somewhere else, obviously that's things that we definitely want to avoid. So communication is key, to say, listen, if my health changes, I'm going to tell you and I'm going to ask the same of you. But to try to keep us safe in a home, we always wear indoor only shoes, my rubber Croc shoes, which are only for inside, and then I clean them between every inspection. So that's one way that we do that. And we have disposable gloves that I also throw away after every inspection. And honestly, on a home inspection, you got to touch things, right? There's no way around it. That's the job. So on the home inspection front, if we're doing a multi-apartment building, I'm throwing those gloves away and I'm cleaning my shoes between every apartment. But even in a single family home, I leave the basement, gloves, go to the first floor, leave the first floor, go to the second, new pair of gloves there too. So we're trying to take extra precaution with things like that. And then, I've got this great P100 rated respirator that is usually for home inspection, crawl spaces and other places that, where safety is an issue with your lungs. And I'm so grateful for that respirator because it's on me all the time now. I wear it to the grocery store. I wear it on every appraisal. I wear it on every inspection. And, it is a little intimidating looking, but it's funny that actually seems to be a comfort to the people whose homes that I'm in, which is nice. And the other thing is we're asking for cooperation from the occupants, from the homeowners and the sellers and the buyers too, in that if we're doing an appraisal, I ask that the occupant open all the doors, turn on all the lights. If it's an apartment with a view, open those blinds so that I can take a blind view. all those things basically limit the amount of things that I have to touch as an appraiser in their home. And the same thing on the inspection side, if you could open things up, it is helpful. On the inspection side, you have to touch things. There's no way around it. So again, we're just kind of more careful with that. But those things are really helpful. We're also asking for fewer people to be at the inspection, and at the appraisal. So, really, most times with a buyer, this, the buyer wants to be there. And the home inspector wants the buyer there as well, because you want to answer those questions. You want to go over your findings, and you also want to teach them how to maintain the home. But these days, the recommendation really is for the buyer to not be there. Those are what most of the professional organizations are recommending for us. With HomeSafe, we're trying to compromise on that, because I understand that, the inspection is usually the first opportunity that a buyer has to be at a property for a long period of time. And, they want to have that time with the inspector and also with the home. So we're asking buyers to show up about an hour to 90 minutes after we begin the inspection. That way we're sort of out of one another's way. We can practice social distancing in a more convenient way, but still answer all their questions and still go over findings with them, and the home at the site. So definitely fewer people. We're asking people, not to bring anyone extra. Obviously, no children, no additional family members. Sometimes people bring people like that on an inspection, or contractors. So things like that are not allowed these days. But those things are helping to keep all of us safe and to keep, business open, and to keep people moving in and buying homes and selling homes and moving on with life. So,
Oh, that's
some
great.
things, yeah, we put in place. Right.
That's great, Terry. And that's where communication is also so important throughout all of this as well, because, if you have less time with a new homeowner on an inspection, being able to communicate what you saw in an effective way to make them feel comfortable with the information that you send them is huge,
Sure.
So that's great. That's really great. So then I guess the next question would be, do you think that the changes that you're seeing now in your field will be there forever going forward, or do you think these are temporary fixes until things settle down?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it's a hard one to answer. I'm not going to duck it though. I promise. I got an answer for you. But uh, one of the things with this pandemic that is really different than other things that we've experienced is the level of uncertainty. Not knowing sort of where the finish line is with this, and when things are going to get back to normal, or even what that really means. Based on the things that you're reading about the lack of testing and the availability of it that is still there, and how we're dealing with this here in New Jersey, I mean, this is still, a serious issue here. There's so many people who have it, who are affected by it directly, and the numbers continue to grow. So without testing and without some sort of, vaccine, I do think this is going to be with us for a while and impact the way we do business. And I think the smartest thing to do is to keep those safety protocols in place until we are at a place where the world is safer. Do I think it'll be this way forever? No, I don't. But for the foreseeable future, I'm forecasting these protocol changes that we've made really for the rest of the year, with the hope that we can relax them. But I think the safest thing to do right now is to let our customers know that we're doing all these things to try to keep them safe, and that way they can feel comfortable moving forward, putting their house up for sale, shopping for that new house and things like that. And the safest way to do that is to say, we're going to err on the side of safety, and then relax those measures when we feel like a vaccine's in place to help everybody feel more comfortable, and you could take those steps to be more comfortable too. But right now we're still in a place where I think it makes everybody feel better to be doing the extra things that we're doing.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's really important to just be transparent too, with obviously everyone's safety is the most important throughout the entire transaction.
Yeah.
And just being transparent with, what options you have in place, and and what you can provide to them in a service to also help keep them safe. I think it's just really huge to help people feel comfortable to move forward in the transaction. So um, the last question would be, what advice would you have for home buyers that are going into a transaction nowadays?
Yeah, sure. Well, my first piece of advice is to really look into the people that you hire and find people that you know you can put your trust in. People like you, Ashley. Buyers know that you deal with vendors who have the best interests of the buyer and the seller at heart. And that's really important right now. It's always important in a real estate transaction to find somebody that's going to be with you along the way, because you know this, it's not a quick and easy process, right? There are many steps in it, from, if you're on the buying side, shopping for a home, lining up your pre-approval, getting your title together, your home inspection, your appraisal, all the municipality things that need to be done to get to that closing table. So you need somebody that's in it for the long haul with you to get you, to get you there. But it's never been more important than it is now, because things are more difficult. Now, certainly not impossible. They are more difficult. So you need to have somebody that deals with vendors who are practicing safety issues and things like that. And one of the things that we need to have, I think, this is beyond business, but just general humanity. We need to have more patience with one another. Everything takes a little bit longer now. A home inspection takes a little bit longer because we're cleaning tools, we're cleaning shoes, we're changing gloves. So those things take longer, but everything takes a little bit longer. To go to the grocery store now, right? It's not like you're just running in and getting the things you need and getting back home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to have more patience with one another. Sellers do, buyers do, and we need to have more patience with our customers too. And I know that's something that you know and understand. But I think buyers should realize housing is essential. Everybody needs, somewhere to live. You've got people whose leases are up and they need to find a new home. You got other people who are downsizing. I had a customer last month where the husband had a job in Michigan and he had already left. He was in Michigan, and they couldn't reunite as a family until that house closed because he couldn't get back to Jersey. She couldn't really leave. These things are important. So
Mm-hmm.
this business, housing, buying and selling, is going to go forward, and we're going to make sure we do it safely. And there is a way to do it. So just, be confident in that. And buyers know that, we're here for them.
Yeah, I think that's great, Terry, because more than ever now, relationships with your vendors or who you choose to help you through the transaction is like of utmost importance. There was a lot of steps before, and those steps are still here. And like you said, there's just a few more things that we have to make sure that we take care of along the way. So it takes, it's good to have a respectful relationship, a professional relationship, and to be able to trust who you're working with. Which I think is more important than ever now. So that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to cover, but was there anything else that you wanted to add to the end of things here?
I think, these type of conversations are really important that we continue to have. And I think by doing this, Ashley, you're helping your customers know that they can have confidence, in the process, which is really important, not only in home buying and selling, but really in everything. And keep the faith and patience with one another. That's really what that's my theme of the day anyway, is to try to be patient with myself and then also with other people out there as we all move forward.
Yeah, patience is key, and we'll just get through it together, just like we have done everything else in the past, right?
Yeah,
So
you got it.
all right, well, thanks everyone for chiming in, and we'll see you soon.